Welcome, sister. It's week 6 of Red Tent Initiation. Alchemy of a Circle. Before we talk about alchemy, let's practice it. So go ahead and just get into your body, right? Get comfortable, tend to any needs that are emerging at the moment. And when you're ready, give more attention to your breath. Let your breath be deep. Let there be an energy of receiving on that inhale and an energy of release on the exhale. Intentional. Expressive. Let it be weird. And if your eyes are not already closed, let them drift closed now. And notice your being. Notice the qualities of your being. And if anything has shifted, even since you pushed play on this video. The breath is an incredible tool for alchemy. We'll get to that in a moment. Stay with the breath and now turn your attention to the earth. And as you let your breath become more normal, right? More natural flow. You might even connect to the earth by breathing with her. Mother Earth, she has a pulse. She has a breath. She is alive. Let yourself live and breathe with her for a few moments. And as you breathe and you connect to the earth, you allow yourself to receive and you allow yourself to release. Tune in. This interconnected web that we all have as human beings on this planet. Tune in to all of the incredible creations taking place in the world around you. The creative energy, the birthing, the sharing, the inspiring. The communing, connecting, belonging. Attune yourself to the frequencies of these shared experiences on our planet. And now, with the same openness and the same gestures of receiving and release, let yourself attune to the more destructive energies that we share here. The devastation, the disorientation, the disconnection. Let yourself tune into these also commonly held experiences. Breathe. Feel the fullness of your humanity. Feel the subtle thread weaving through all of humankind, through all of this planet's inhabitants, and how we share these experiences. Let yourself feel and be moved and be affected by all of it. How does it feel? And as you do so, I'm here to remind you that you are not alone. The unique to you joy, the inspiration, the juicy, beautiful, lovely, inspiring energies that came in when prompted. You are not alone in these experiences. The devastation, the disconnection, the isolation, the alienation, you are also not alone in any of those experiences that came in. We are not alone here. We are beings sharing a planet and sharing our humanity all of the time, whether we're paying attention or not. Here in the red tent, we are paying attention. We're living into the awareness of this humanity, and we are reclaiming the wholeness of the experience of this humanity. We choose to be the caregivers. We choose to be the stewards of humanity. And we say yes to the necessary evolution, the necessary change, the necessary transformation that being on this planet at this time requires of us. We say yes consciously because we understand that it is taking place regardless. We feel the call to embodied feminine leadership, and we know that in that space, we know we're all equal. So feel yourself on this planet. Literally feel your feet above her. Feel her pulse. Feel her breath. And let it remind you of our shared humanity and just how important it is to live into, embrace, and be affected by the wholeness of that humanity. Right now, as you give yourself to this awareness, go ahead and take your hands, both of them, place them on your heart. You can close your eyes if they're not already closed. And through these hands, offer yourself exactly what you need to keep saying yes. Is it compassion? Is it courage? Is it nourishment? Is it encouragement? Right? Offer yourself exactly what you need. Receive it. Breathe into it. You are a steward of the rising feminine energy on this planet. And you're doing a good job. We are doing a good job. Believe it. Live into it. Alchemy of a circle. This is week 6. It's like a juicy culmination of all that we have done here in the tent together to date. So, alchemy of a circle. Well, what is alchemy? I wrote this down. So, alchemy is a seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or combination. Seemingly magical. That's fun, huh? Well, perhaps you've never heard this word before, and perhaps you've heard it in very specific contexts. But one of the first contexts that comes to mind for me with alchemy is metalwork, blacksmithing. I believe the blacksmiths were some of the original alchemists, or at least the original beings to connect to mystical, magical transformation. So this is not just a spiritual thing, right? Like in a chemical sense, one alchemical process is sublimation. Sublimation is when something goes from a solid state to a gas state without ever passing through a liquid state. And if you, like me, remember science class, that's not how that works. Right? That's not a predictable, logical order of events. Hence, the seemingly magical, right? Same thing, distillation. To distill something, right, is to take something, a form, and break it into its components, into its parts. That's the act of distillation. Distillation is also alchemical because we don't often understand how it works to do that. Right? Just the right temperatures, just the right pressure, just the right X, Y, and Z allows for a distillation. We figure out how to recreate it, but we don't necessarily grasp it on a logical level. Alchemy. Now, in the spiritual context, in the context of human growth, right? In spiritual evolution, alchemy refers to an inner transformation that is also seemingly magical. How we make sense of that magic varies from person to person. And I would say is as meaningful as we need it to be. Alchemy is inner transformation. So when we hold sacred spaces, right? When we employ the practices, the tools, and the resources that we have been immersing ourselves in over the past 5 weeks, when we do that, we offer ourselves so much potential for transformation. It is an alchemical process. We offer ourselves more self-awareness. We offer ourselves more self-belief. We offer ourselves the tools of healing, the tools of transformation and change. We offer ourselves these things when we step into these intentionally created sacred spaces, and therefore we participate in an alchemy. And it's extra juicy when you consider doing it with others or holding space, right? Creating that sacred space for others to be transformed. And one of the most exciting aspects of all of this conversation to me is how little of the doership, right? Remember, we talked about masculine and feminine and this very masculine doing and feminine being. When we create sacred space for someone to come and have a transformative experience, it's a lot less doership and a lot more being. Openness, receptivity, intuition, right? Connection to something larger than ourselves. These things that have gotten so lost, forgotten, repressed, right? Pushed aside, right? That have created this masculine and feminine imbalance that we've already talked about. It's like when we bring those things back in, they're like key ingredients for transformation. And when we put all these ingredients together in a beautiful way, we put all the key ingredients together so we have a successful result in our recipe. Evolution, growth, transformation. So regardless of whether you came here to do that for yourself, you came here to learn how to do that with others, or how to hold space for others to do that, you have some essential ingredients. So let's just quick review, right? So week 1, intention, intention, intention. How will you show up? How will you live into these practices, right? Into these tools, into these resources? How will you show up in your life with these things or not, in order to be a part of the transformation? Can we be a part of the transformation without an intention to do so? Week 2, the reclamation of the feminine, the reminder of the sacred feminine. Well, it's going to be tricky to have lasting and deep transformation if we leave aspects of ourselves out of the recipe. So if we don't reclaim our wholeness, our whole experience, right? So go back to our meditation earlier. If we say only joy, I'll have only joy, please, right? Then we miss out on the essential ingredient of frustration, of anger, of bitterness, of grief, and all of the magic that they bring to the process of transformation of our humanity. We miss out if we avoid them, if we push them away. And remember, nobody escapes these experiences. It's kind of interesting to think about, right? A planet, many peoples socialized and conditioned toward comfort, right? away from the discomfort of these diverse experiences. And how interesting that is, considering that these experiences are exactly the ingredient we need for change, to keep going forward, to keep evolving into our highest iterations, into the highest expressions of our humanity. So we reclaim the feminine because we want wholeness. And we can't be whole if we keep all the feminine essence in the closet. Week 3, shadows of sisterhood, right? Remember how it's like when we don't allow the wholeness, or the wholeness is taken out of the realm of possibility for us, like from without, then we can't exactly, we have to heal the wounds to preserve the wholeness, right? So we engage around the wounding that lives within us, because we know that without turning toward it, it's going to be awfully difficult to change, to alchemize. Week 4 is the embodied feminine leadership. And just, I'll say this quickly, regardless of how you experienced that week of content, regardless of if you plan to be a leader in a formal sense, regardless of how you imagine yourself leading, after going through that gate, we all understand that there is another way to lead. We understand that when we re-elevate the feminine, we bring these into balance, and we find more wholeness, right? When we do that, there's a whole nother way to be here together, right? So, for example, it's like, maybe I'm not going to be a leader, but embodied feminine leadership, that key ingredient, reminds me that if I go, and I only prioritize the doing and the productivity, and I'm depleted, right? I'm depleted. My life energy is dissipating, and I'm struggling. I understand that I need to offset the doing with a being. I need to balance the action with rest and rejuvenation. And so I understand, right, this spectrum and how to bring things back into balance, which is, again, it's a key ingredient in this alchemy, right? I want to change something, but there's this deep imbalance. The change can't quite make it through the gates of this kind of imbalanced state. And we know the medicine to bring more balance. We're living into those practices now. We're aware of them. We're learning to trust them. We're learning to trust ourselves and how we intuitively do this. And then last week, week 5, the art of ritual. This is where this is a juicy ingredient where we are reminded that we are responsible for creating the safety for this transformation. We create the container. It's safe, right? It's sacred. It's commonly held, right? We're in community. We feel a togetherness, whether it's with other humans or the other elements of our ritual that we engage with, right? The cosmos, the natural resources, the elements, our ancestors, our spirit guides, our helpers. In week 5, it's like we remember the elements of ritual, and we live into those practices because we understand that all of that container will be necessary for the deepest of transformations to take place. Culmination, the alchemy of a circle. This week is all about remembering the potential, the deep, deep potential for transformation for ourselves and for our communities and our planet. And we get to celebrate that we've walked through each of these 5 gates, right? You said yes each week. You kept walking forward. You kept showing up. And so now you have these key ingredients for this incredible recipe for transformation. And should you choose to, you could keep living into these. You can keep growing them, keep healing, keep deepening your self-awareness. Invite others to do it with you in community, right? Or to join other communities that already are. We congratulate ourselves. And so this week, you'll notice in the content that there's a link to the Alchemy of a Circle guidebook. And to me, this guidebook is basically a culmination of everything we've done thus far. Put it all together in this way that's like, why are we here? And how will we participate in transformation? As informed by the red tent initiation. It's like it's a why, it's a how, it's a pointing at the mystical, magical nature of it all, and has some tangible to-dos, some logistics, things to keep in mind as you live into your own alchemy. So that guidebook is the majority of the content this week. So feel free to set an intention right now. You have a more spacious week. There's no call this Sunday, the 17th. We're taking that off. So go ahead and set your intention right now. How do I want to prioritize this juicy culmination time before we move into our final week together? Before we allow our emphasis to shift to the offering to the group, right? Like, how would you like to give yourself to the alchemy of circle before you show up to do it with and for us? Right? So it's like you get time to do something by yourself, and then you get time to come and share and connect around it. So this is more of a you week, and you will notice there is other resources that will be linked in for you to check out in your own timing, but that guidebook will be the majority of it. And I also want to quickly make a little bonus offer. And I'll try to put a reminder of this elsewhere in the content. But I also wanted to say that this is just a bonus thing, and I literally just came up with it just now. I haven't formally placed this intention anywhere, but because we're not meeting up on Sunday, if anybody in the group would like to have a quick one-on-one time with me, let's say 30 minutes, just like a connection call, a time to ask questions, to get support, to ask questions and get support. Share your thoughts, share your visions. I'm here for it. And I can help you get that scheduled in a timing that works for you. I'm pretty flexible. So if that's something you would like to do, consider this an official invitation. I won't make a big deal out of it. I'll just put it out there and reach out anytime. So, alchemy of a circle. Live into it. And may we all be deeply transformed. Thank you for your presence. Bye for now.